I think I probably got them all wrong.
We didn't get any right.
See, you got one there. All right. Yes.
I think I need to switch over to that $13.99 beer.
It's kind of bad.
It's really bad.
It's kind of bad.
Well, it's your show. I mean, you got to start.
It is my show. I'm going to have to start.
You have to start it out. You can't rely on the radio.
All right, folks.
Professional.
Well, welcome to Hampton Beer Nation. Here we are at beautiful Hampton Beer Outlet, and I'm very pleased to have to my right the esteemed
Who said beautiful?
Jim
Beautiful.
Colony.
The beautiful
This
Hampton
is a
Beer
beautiful
Outlet.
Hampton Beer Outlet. You have to, kind of get into the soul of the place. Jim.
I've been known to patronize this establishment from time to time.
You have. I think you went on vacation a couple weeks ago, and my sales were down 10%. I could kind of tell that there was something a little missing there, so we knew you were gone.
Business on Route 8 suffered. So what are we doing here anyway? You dragged me in here off the
I know.
golf course,
I did.
and here I am
did.
with all this beer.
Wonderful, glorious beer.
Our good friend Ron Cook, free and free light.
Free beer?
Free and free light.
We don't have any
That's
free.
what you're having today. Well,
We don't have any free. We have free
beer.
light.
Today you're having free beer. We're here to, knowing that you are an aficionado of what we're going to call domestic beers.
Well,
Now, we've had Adam Crowley here, and Adam Crowley, he
Yeah.
was into the high-end seasonal Christmas beers, the Mad Elves, if you will, of the world. We had Colin Dunlap here. He was into the Pittsburgh crafts, the
Right.
$20 a four-pack thing.
no, I'm
But
a
we know
senior
that's not-
citizen. I'm a senior citizen on a limited income.
Yeah.
So I can't afford this
We,
high-priced craft beer.
we know that's not how you roll.
No, it's not.
No. I mean, your reputation precedes itself. Before I ever even had the pleasure of meeting you, I said, there's a guy that really loves his natural light.
Well,
And he's a natty light guy.
Okay, there's a little bit of a misconception here. Okay.
So I've heard.
As you know, and I'm setting myself up for failure here because Bud Light is actually what I prefer. Natty Light is also a part of our. My wife actually likes it. I don't know. She's going to be embarrassed, but
There's nothing wrong with that.
our
We all
son,
have different tastes.
one of our kids likes Coors Light. If my wife can't get Natty or Bud Light, she will get Miller Light, and then Icy Light. Well, it's Pittsburgh, but we digress.
Yes, that's well. So, what we wanted to do, for the pleasure of our audience, is to sit here and just have you and I, both of us distinguished beer drinkers, so to speak, and we're going to see if we can ascertain by blind taste test
Which is which?
which of these beers is which.
Okay.
So neither one of us has any idea which one of these beers are. So,
No.
Hunter, should we just start to partake
Dig into number one.
with number one?
Yep.
Okay. And what we want to do, we want to
Now, do we have to? Is this like a?
I would recommend sniffing, swirling. These are very high-end beers.
tasting notes.
Is this so? This is like with the wine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I expect
yeah.
notes of caramel and leather and burnt chocolate.
I'm not really getting any of that.
I'm not.
There's no red currant
I'm
or
not really.
anything.
I'm not really sensing anything here. It's kind of warm, so that's a little bit different. But I can't. I can't make a determination based on just one sip.
Okay,
I
no,
know
we're
what
gonna
it's.
do them all
I
at
know.
once.
I know what this is not.
Okay.
I know one that it's not. I think I know two that it's not. But then there could be
I
any
think
one.
I
of-
know what it is. Okay. No,
No, that's okay. I can.
It's only 5 sips. We can. If it was more than 5, we'd probably need to write it down. But with 5 sips, I think. we'll
I'd
be
also
okay.
need a ride home.
Yes.
I mean, I love my friends in the Hampton Police Department.
What seems to be the officer problem?
Yeah.
Okay, number two. We're going on number two.
Here we go.
This is going to be harder than I thought. And Hunter, you warned me on this.
These beers. I mean, we have over 2,000 beers here at Hampton Beer Outlet, but just the 5 beers that are here, which is 30 packs of Miller Lite, Coors Light, Icy Light, Bud Light, Natural Light,
I think people can see that.
and well, that's true. They can
The
actually
same.
see it as well. But I'm
That's
just
all right.
trying to help them out a little bit. Just these 5 packages out of 2,000 beers would be about 20% of our store sales.
That seems like a lot.
So, I mean, for all the craft beer and all the fancy dancy stuff that we have here, and we have a lot.
And 50% of that is me.
This is well, you're a significant contributor. There's a reason God gave you 2 hands. You carried 2 30 packs on your way out.
I've actually, I might have done that.
Oh, I've seen you do that.
Of different brands, and it's before
I've checked
like
you out
4th of July
that
party
way.
and that kind of stuff. So,
Which Pittsburgh sports figure, past or present, alive or dead, would you most want to have a beer with?
Most want to have a beer with, which is a very different question than a lot of other questions.
Well, I'm trying to think, because there are some that I have.
You would have more experience with this than
I have.
you can't rule them out, though. That's okay.
And I have to eliminate, because I remember one night back in happier times in Nashville, we drove all the way there, and then we went out and ran into Phil Bork at one of the honky tonks on Broadway. So I have had a beer with Borky.
And I would think that would be fun.
I believe Jay Caulfield was there as well.
He would be fun as well.
Yes, and man, there are all sorts of people. I'm trying to go back to some of the Steelers, because if you think back in the day, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like back
this
in the
is before
day,
Hunter's time, although he's a fan of that. Yeah.
No, but if we man, how come I can't remember his name? Who's the quarterback? Used to hang out at like Kyoto's in Homestead.
You're going like
I'm thinking the coach was Bobby Lane.
Bobby Lane.
Bobby Lane. I think that might be a little bit dangerous, but I'm thinking
that was a different time back then.
I know,
Yeah.
but that was I think that was
they'd go and they'd drink and they'd fight their way out.
That's when I was born. So yeah, I think Bobby Lane's a solid answer. What do you think?
Bobby Lane is an iconic figure, and for somebody to have a beer with. I mean, I might go with Jim Leyland. I might go with the manager.
Oh,
Jim
that's
Leyland.
a real good one too.
Just because I think he would tell you some stuff. But
as a group,
yeah.
hockey players, you really can't go wrong with hockey players typically.
All right.
I like it.
Okay, so there's the fan question.
Where are we on, number 3?
Number three.
Number 3.
Ooh, this one's a little bit cold because there's a little dew on the. Okay, I know what this is.
See, I'm dangerous because I actually think I know, and I could be completely wrong.
Just be messing yourself
I could
up.
be completely playing with my own mind. Okay, so you're pretty definitive on 1 and 2, and 3 you're not sure. See, I'm pretty definitive on all 3 of them now.
Really?
There's
Okay.
only 2 left, so I could be completely screwed up. So we shall see.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4.
Let's.
Nostrovia.
Yeah.
All right, I got another random beer question for you guys. What's the best beer you've ever had? And I don't mean the best tasting beer. I mean situationally. Like your child was just born and it was just like the best beer you've ever had. Something like that. What was the best moment you ever had?
I've got a couple. I have a couple. Although sometimes I will operate light machinery while having a cold one. But sitting on the deck, and I didn't do this today because I mowed the lawn. A lot of times I mow the lawn in the afternoon. Right, I might play golf, come home, and then I'll
mow your own
mow the lawn.
A big media
It's
czar
fun.
like
No, it's
yourself.
fun. I do
You
my
mow
best.
your
I
lawn.
do some of my best thinking when I'm mowing.
Okay.
And listening to tunes and stuff like that. But it's very satisfying sitting up on the deck and then looking at the lines. I'm kind of
You're a line guy,
I'm kind of
okay.
a slob. Oh,
Okay.
but today I went the other way because I've been going vertically
crisscross
the whole
deal.
time. I did today. I went sideways.
Like the golf fairways.
And
You did
no,
the X-cuts.
I have done that too, where I'll start doing the diagonal thing.
Diagonal.
But that's few and far between. But anyway, very satisfying when you're done on a really hot day. Today's kind of hot, but you got to have like one of those 85-degree
yeah.
days, and you sit there, ice cold beer, and you're just
sweating.
sitting looking
Yeah,
at your handiwork. The other one I will say, and this is kind of a plug too, I guess, and we're going back down to Key West in a couple of weeks. So rob our
congratulations
house.
on all your
There'll be
success.
nobody home. We were down there last year, and again, it was a really hot day in February, and we're walking up and down Duval Street, and we just found this place called Irish Kevin's in Key West, and a friend of ours had recommended it, so we decided to go in. And Irish Kevin is a guy, I guess he must own the bar. I think his kid also performed, but he's one of those guys who insults people, with the guy sits to dirty songs, insults people, and all this stuff. But we went in there and ordered beers, and it was the coldest. It was the coldest beer I think I'd ever had in a bar, and it was just so refreshing.
It was glorious.
Yes. And so that's a couple of examples for me.
Examples that you can remember. I've actually been to Irish Kevin's. And
We're-
Key West is one of my favorite places.
And we're going to
on
go
the
back.
planet.
We're going to go back.
It's been a few years since I've been there, but it's a life-changing place to go.
What a bummer. Well, I'm not going to give a spoiler alert for what you say when he asks where you're from. But
Okay, yeah,
There's a-
I'll just have to walk right into that.
there's
and see.
a funny answer for that.
And it's funny that there isn't one particular event that comes to mind, but the best tasting beers I ever have are at Steeler tailgate parties. I mean, when I just take that cold beer, whether it's 80 degrees or 20 degrees, there's just something about a tailgate party with, you can smell the grill and the music's playing in the background, the Steeler polka's playing.
That's a good call. The grill,
like
the smell of the grill and everything else, that does lend itself to
the kibasi and the sausages and the things that I'm not allowed to eat. I mean, they're all just wafting
no, but you
in
can
the
smell
air.
it.
I eat them as long as it's
okay.
My wife, she probably won't see this, so yeah, I will eat them there.
Your wife doesn't watch your stuff either. I know Linda won't be watching this.
No, she doesn't watch for that. But yeah, any kind of a tailgate beer and the golf course beer, that's hard to beat as well. The during golf, post golf, pre golf, the golf course beer.
No wonder your game sucks.
Depending on where you are and who you're playing with. So yes, absolutely.
I'm doing very poorly on this thing because.
Well, we're not. You don't know. Okay, this is it.
Number 5.
Oh, we're on 5. Nice.
Jeez, I thought for sure that there was one beer that was going to stick out to me. Two that were going to stick out to me, and neither of them
this
did.
one threw me.
Well, this one I actually like the best, so I'm going to take a stab at what it is.
I'm saying number 1 is Miller Lite.
I have that as Coors.
I'm saying number 1 is Miller Lite. That's what I'm
I
saying.
have 2 as Miller Lite.
I'm going to say number 2 is Coors Light. Yeah.
The worst beer you ever had.
The worst beer I ever have? I can say this with definition. It was Blatz out of the squat bottle in college because I drank probably 300 cases of it.
Okay.
So I'm qualified to have it. It's an informed opinion.
There was a beer called Dunks, which was brewed in Auburndale, Florida, near Winter Haven, right around Winter Haven, Orlando, Auburndale, and my 2 friends and I were starting out on a road trip, and we drove by a sign on like a Circle K that said beer 99 cents. Now, actually, the funny thing is when you do the math on this, and if you go to the inflation calculator and see 99 cents and what it would be nowadays, beer actually isn't any more expensive than it was, even though it seems like it. But this stuff was, and so we decided, well, okay, we may as well buy a 6-pack. And then I thought, well, we may as well buy. And then there were 3 of us, so we thought we all bought 2 6-packs. There was 1 beer left over when we were done with our little 3 or 4 day trip. It was bad, okay, but we were like 20 years old. We get back home to my friend's house. His dad drank nothing but Schaefer beer. It was growing up in New England, and
we still have Schaefer.
And then we always felt that the reason he drank Schaefer is because he knew that we would never take it, and he was right. So we get back to their house. He runs out of beer. He's drinking. He doesn't have any beer left in the fridge. There was 1 beer in the fridge. It was a Dunks beer that we had brought back.
And
he goes over. He opens it up. He takes a sip of it. Walks over to the sink and just poured it down the drain. and that was
the only beer he had. So think how bad that
I know
had to be.
it was
if it's your
Dunk's
last beer, I think I would still probably try to grind my way through it.
And I tried to find it when I went back to cover spring training, but they don't have it anymore.
See, and the Blatz thing, and not to digress anymore, but it was, and how can I remember this? I just don't know, but it was $5.42 for a case of Blatz. So all you needed was 3 guys, $2 a piece. You had $6. You had a case of Blatz, 8 beers a piece. You're good to go. We were ready to impress the girls after those 8 beers. We just would.
How'd that go for you?
Well, it was hit and miss. Yeah. More miss than hit.
All right.
What's the cheapest case in the store right now?
There's a sandwich board for it, probably.
Cheapest case in the store right now? No. There's some $13.99, $14.99
for a case,
30 packs. Oh yeah, 30 packs.
Wait a second, hang on. I've got Natty on number 3.
And I had Icy Light as number 3. So we have no consensus whatsoever between the 2 of us.
This is great.
Distinguished domestic beer drinkers.
I'm probably going
we have no consensus.
Probably going to be real bad.
We have no consensus at all.
I got 4 as Icy Light.
See, I'm saying 4 is Natty Light.
So we haven't agreed on any.
No,
actually, we're going to agree on 1. We're going to agree that 5 is Bud Light because neither of us has said Bud Light yet.
And by default, I'm saying 5 is Bud Light. I think I probably got them all wrong. I don't know, but this has been a fun exercise.
Well,
all right.
Yeah. So
number 1 Bill said was Miller Lite. Colony said was Coors Light. Number 1 was in fact Natty Light.
Really?
See, that was my first pick. I should have stuck with my first pick.
Trust your gut.
My first pick was Natty Light.
Number 2, this one's going to blow you guys' minds, I think. Bill said was Coors Light. Colony said was Miller Lite. Is in fact Bud Light.
You gotta be
Number
shitting me.
2 is Bud Light?
Yes. Number 3.
Well, now it's like, oh.
Bill guessed Icy Light. Colony guessed Natty Light. Is Miller Light.
We didn't get any right.
Number 4. Bill guessed Natty Light. Colony guessed Icy Light. Is in fact Icy Light.
See, you're
Got
just
one.
you know.
You got one there.
All right, yeah.
David Bednar's very proud.
He
of you.
just,
I'm sure he
just, he's
And you both guessed Bud Light for 5, and it's the
wrong.
one that's left. It was Coors.
see.
All right.
So
I've only drank,
you guys had,
I don't know,
You had 10
330
chances.
packs
Went
of Bud
one-
Light.
You went 1 for 10.
1
You're
for
batting
10.
like the Pirates in this game.
1 for 10. I'm 0 for 5. No,
Oh, that's the leadoff spot.
that would be the leadoff spot. Yeah. If you're 0 for 5, you can lead off for the
Very,
Bucks.
very pirate-esque.
You know?
I think I need to switch over to that $13.99 beer. Whatever that is.
Because it obviously doesn't make any difference for these. No,
I don't think it does. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
no.
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know how to wrap this up because I'm
That's
just.
what I'm saying.
I don't either. We were 1 for 10.
1 for 10.
It's really not. It's kind of bad.
It's really bad.
It's kind of bad.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming here to Hampton Beer Outlet. We
Sure.
appreciate your time today. You beat me fair and square, 1-0.
That's
It was a duel.
It's
It
another.
was a duel. Yes, he shut me out and he beat
Pirate
me
game.
1-0.
It's a good thing I had
So,
Jared Jones in the
Great seeing you, Hunter. Thanks for coordinating everything, and cheers to all.
I'm good at home. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
That was fun.
Good luck editing that.